couple of seconds and we'll get started.
All right, I'm getting us on YouTube, and it looks like we are live on YouTube. So you're good to go whenever, Wade. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, guys. Well, today is something that we're going to cover something that David said he thought would be very good to cover, and that's some of the top questions and rebuttals that we have when asked when we call your clients and we're making the offers and that sort of thing. And I know a lot of you come across some of these questions as well. So if one of these five are not questions that you know that you have and that you would like to know more, just let me know. Just raise your hand after this and we'll talk about it. But before we start, I want to tell you a little story about a funding that took place just this morning. Yesterday afternoon, we received an application from a Thai restaurant in Arizona, and it was a pretty good file. Didn't have a lot of issues there, and we were able to get them 5 different offers. And one of the offers that we presented to them was for $92,000 over 18 months. I want you to listen to this. The rate on that was a 137. That's a factor rate. Now, what I want you to do is take 0.37 and divide it by 18 and multiply by 12. And so that's what they're going to pay for the cost of the funds over on a yearly basis. That is an outstanding rate. It didn't take long when I got her on the phone for her to say, "Hey, I want the option 1, 92,000." And she told me that yesterday afternoon at about 5:15, which of course all the funding departments closed. So we sent her all the paperwork this morning. She signed everything that she had. We discovered a second bank account that she was trying to put the money into, and we had to get her to send us just two of those bank statements. The bottom line is, everything went great. We sent a wire out because this is with one of our A lenders. The wire went out, so that wire means that instantly the money's in her account within minutes, depending on whether she's got a community bank. But she's using one of the big boys, so she's already got the money. So I called her and talked to her and let her know everything was there. And she said, "Well, let me ask you something. I got some other businesses too. This is the first time I've ever tried to apply for funds anywhere other than my bank, and honestly, this was as smooth as I've ever seen it." And I said, "Well, I'm glad you said that." And I said, "Of course, we can help you with other businesses you have." I said, "But let me talk to you a little bit about Connect Cash. Has anyone talked to you about taking advantage of the Connect Cash program?" She said, "No." And I went over the Connect Cash program, and she started naming off, "Oh my goodness, I got this person, that person. I know another person here that needs money right now." So the bottom line is, there's a daisy chain effect going on. She's going to tell me about people, and I'm going to tell her people about the same thing. And this broker is getting credit for everything. So we do work on our end to help you get these leads and these Connect Cash programs going. So we're going to be sending her a link to be part of the Connect Cash program. Just wanted to let you know that it's pretty exciting that you can get 92,000 in less than 12 hours. It was actually yesterday afternoon when if she would have accepted, if she'd have submitted the application to us earlier in the day, she would have had the money yesterday. She actually didn't submit it to after 2:00. We got the offers in, made the offer to her before I couldn't get her on the phone until 5:00, and she's, I think, on Pacific time there in Arizona. So that's 3 hours different than Eastern. Otherwise, we would have done this in 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5 hours max, and it would have been all in her bank account. But I thought that would be something that's worth mentioning to you guys. Today, as I said, I'm going to be talking about rebuttals and questions that we're going to have and how we answer them. And I'm going to give you a quick, I'm doing it this way instead of just going over it, because this will be in the back office and you're going to be able to see what we say, because we got scripts that we say, we put them in our own words. But when a question's asked of us, and we know there's only a certain number of questions, I just want to put the top 5, and then you are certainly welcome to hop on board with me and ask me any questions you want. Before I start every week training, I just want to talk about the benefits that you have with Bank Breezy here, our partnership. It's 100% online application process with no hassles, quick decisions. As a matter of fact, we making it with Tyler and his team. It is getting better and better and better and easier to use every single month. It seems like we are offering the #1 needed success tool to any of your client base, and that's working capital. You're going to receive a commission on everything that's funded. We don't fund any people direct without being a broker involved. That is a commitment we've made to David Allen Kaplan, with David owning half of the platform. You can rest assured that we're never going to go and fund one direct. And you get paid daily with us. The only thing you got to do is get the word out, tell people about it, get some new blood in your team, and let them tell people about it, so you can make more and more overrides. And rest assured, and the veterans on here can be attest to it. The clients are coming back 4 to 6 times to get more funding. Here is the #1 question that we get, and here's how we answer it. And again, you're gonna, with this being recorded, I wanted you to be able to see this stuff. But #1, they say, is it possible to arrange for monthly payments instead of weekly or daily ones? Well, the answer is really this, and I'm gonna read it, but you need to just learn this and put it in your own words. I'm glad you reached out and understand your preference for monthly payment. It's important to note that our funding model differs from traditional banks. We encourage our clients to explore funding options with their local banks first, as they might often offer more flexibility. However, it's not uncommon for small business owners to face challenges securing funding from traditional banks due to the factors like insufficient collateral. Our investors are keen to support small businesses by providing working capital even without collateral. Nevertheless, it's essential to acknowledge that these types of fundings are inherently high risk, primarily due to the absence of collateral. Therefore, we typically offer financing with a daily or occasionally weekly payment options to mitigate this risk. This structure allows us to support a wider range of business while addressing the unique challenges associated with unsecured funding. Now, that's a real eloquent way of saying it, but what you do is you take this and you take each paragraph and you rewrite it so it fits what you would say. The second question we get is, what's the interest cost of capital for this funding offering? Our answer is, we operate on a factor-based system rather than an interest-based one, as we are not a traditional bank. Our underwriters evaluate various aspects of your business health, taking into consideration factors beyond just the credit history of the owner. They assess the overall condition of your business and consider the associated risks. Based on this assessment, they determine the total cost of capital. This approach allows us to provide offers that align with the specific risk profile of each business without imposing a significant burden on your cash flow. Once the cost of capital is determined, we present you with a fair offer. It's essential for you to evaluate whether using the capital to fuel your business growth is justified by the associated cost. Our aim is to offer a solution that helps your business thrive while ensuring the terms are reasonable or in line with your financial needs. That's a real long answer, but I wanted it to be this way so you can take that and you put that answer into your own words, because it mainly the big takeaways here is factor based. There's a high risk here. You got to look at the total cost of capital and see if it's worth the what you're going to use it for, and these are fair offers. Number 3 is it possible to increase the funding offer? I require a larger amount to achieve my objectives. The answer is, I appreciate your request for additional capital. The funding amount we offer is determined based on what we believe your business can comfortably manage at this point after you've made consistent payments for 45 to 90 days. And that's always on their offer, by the way, so we know what that number is, and establish a positive client history. We may be able to put you in a position to offer you more capital with improved terms and rates. Becoming a client in good standing is the initial step to exploring further funding options. So it's important to maintain a strong track record with us. So getting more funding, in essence, is really Sometimes if it's less than 5,000 more, then I've got the authority to bump up most of the offers to that. But when they start wanting 20, 30, 40, 50,000 more. Again, it's based on the lender partner, what their risk tolerance is. But this is a real eloquent way of saying everything that you could say in about 2 minutes. But at least you've got this to build a conversation already for that rebuttal. Number 4, what should I do if I'm unable to make payment for a week due to financial restraint? A lot of times clients get on and they say, man, I want this. I'm just worried about I'm going into a lull season. What happens if I have a bad week? Well, here's the answer. It's not uncommon for businesses to face temporary financial challenges. In such situations, we encourage open communication. If you find yourself in a tight spot, possibly due to a downturn in revenue for the month, please reach out to us. We are here to assist you. We can work together to explore options such as temporarily lowering payments or even pausing them for a few weeks to accommodate your circumstances. The key is to maintain a line of communication with us, never abruptly stop payments or cease communication. We are committed to supporting your business's success and aspire to be your long-term funding partner. So working through challenges together is in both of our interests. And this is absolutely true. There's no reason for someone to have to default, because we will always work with them. It's so sad when they default because they're talking to brokers that are coming in behind you and not telling them the truth and saying, hey, just quit paying those and I can get you another position. So that's number 4. And then the final thing these are the top 5 that we get is, are you a direct lender or a broker? The answer is we offer a unique approach that goes beyond being a direct lender or broker. We operate as a national platform and have contracts with over 50 of the top lenders in the small business funding space. Think of us as a lending tree of this industry. Choosing a single lender may not always ensure the best offer or even approval. With our platform, our lender partners understand from the outset that they must compete to provide you with the very best offer. We aim to be a true one-stop best offer solution, giving you access to a wide range of financing options to meet your needs. We get asked this all the time, are you a lender or you're a broker? And this is our standard answer. We've all put it into our own words, depending on who it is and how you feel. But these are the paragraphs that we give them. And I can write a paragraph for every single objection or question. I don't really look at them as objections. They're really questions of, I just don't understand. I don't have enough information to understand. So I am going to stop sharing right now and take any kind of any questions we have. If David's on and he wants to make a comment, that'd be great. If not, we'll take questions.
David is not on, I don't think. So we can go right to questions. It looks like Adora has her hand up. Anyone else who has a question, you can use your virtual hand raise and we will get to you. Adora, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Wade. Excellent training. Very quick question. Please, can you explain the concept of Connect Cash? Because I don't still understand what it is and how it works.
Okay, I'm going to let you go to, and I'm not putting you off, but this is the Connect Cash has to do with a program that we have put together to find leads for you and give your clients an option to we're going to pay them up to 2% of the funded value of anybody they refer.
Oh.
And it's so much easier for us to do it than you call them and ask them for referrals, because a lot of them don't want to do referrals, but we're giving them a cash incentive to, hey, do you have anybody that needs capital? I know you do. You got people locally and you got friends that own businesses. And then when they do that, you get credit for the funding. And then let's say that business that got funded that they referred starts referring people, you get paid on those too. And if that business starts referring people, you get paid on those too. We're actually doing what you should be doing anyway. And I tell you, Matt and Nick do it better than anybody I've ever seen. They really pound those referrals, because that is the greatest market out there. And just go to your back office training. There's a whole section on Breezy Connect Cash, and it will show
Okay.
you how to use that to get more and more and more clients.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, next up we have Matt Dehane. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, Matt.
I'm off. Okay. So thanks, Wade. Appreciate the, okay. So what are we talking about? Not the Connect Cash thing, but these are conditions. And, objections are generally things that come up in people's mind. They just don't have enough information, objections to something. But there isn't necessarily an objection if they don't have the information. These are conditions in their mind. Like, well, about monthly payments and all those things. And I know you did the AI thing. It's quick to, wonderful synopsis of what we say, but cutting it quick and being economic with your words. No one's offering monthly payments because, the reason why they need to because. Yeah, I know it would be great, but nobody in this space, or we don't, because boom. What happens is, default rates happen because folks have other priorities and they're risking 100% of the funds they're giving you in the business. So they just need to take a little bit weekly or monthly, weekly or daily until it's paid. And the good news is that always throw a benefit is that you don't have to worry about that big nut at the end of the month or, and it's paid. So I'm just going to throw this out here, Wade, if you're still on. Oh, there you are. The psychology thing, and I'm getting back focused again. I've lost focus, but I'm back at this. Watch out. You're presenting the benefit of the funds, but when the idea of the payment, of course you got to pay it back, right? So once they have that great idea, they have the benefit of it in their mind, right in the front part of their mind, they have the idea, I'm going to put this money to work. Okay, but the cost, when you get into the woods with the cost and that whole idea about, okay, obviously you're going to, they're going to need you to pay this back. But the thing is, they're not going to hurt you. And, they're not going to take more than you can afford. So that's the point of the offer. They're only going to look at your revenue, and they're going to decide, based on a predictable pattern of your past 3-4 months, they're going to look at that pattern and say, you can afford to run your business on 85% of what you're doing now. Or they can't. Whatever that number is, that 10 or 15% of what they're doing, there's a formula. They look at it. And any business can run their show on 80%, 85%, usually on what they're used to. And that's a good way to present it. Just listen, you're going to get a whole month's worth of revenue approximately. And let me flip the switch and put it this way. So if you had a whole month's worth of revenue like tomorrow, and you could do whatever you wanted with it, would you be able to run your business on 80% of what you've got right now if you had that? All right. So what I've just done is presented. Well, of course I would. Well, that's pretty much what it is. And they're going to take that daily or weekly until it's paid. So you don't have a monthly payment. Now I've just switched the whole thing around and created that in their mind as a benefit. Oh, that's a plus. Wow. You mean I don't have a payment? No, it's already paid. If you're just running your business on 85% of what you're doing right now and you had a whole month's worth of revenue, would that help you? Man, that just kind of opens up the whole door, doesn't it? It's like, that's exactly what it is. And they're not going to give you the funds if they see that you can't afford to pay it back. So you're only going to get whatever they determine you can afford to pay, and they're willing to risk. So they're risking everything. They're only going to give you what they think or believe you're easily going to handle. So it comes out to, in my experience, Wade, correct me if I'm wrong, it's about 15%. It could be 10, but it's usually not more. They don't want to go more than that because that's when the business owner gets in trouble. If it's up 20%, it could hurt their cash flow and mess them up. So they look at that on a first position, right? And so they see that and they say, yeah. So I present it that way. It's a good idea. If you get into the cost thing, if you get into it, you start talking about it, and they're like, it just eliminates that worry, the stress. It's not an objection. It's just an understanding. It's a condition in their mind of thinking, so it eliminates the whole concept of rates and costs and factor. Oh, listen, can you afford to run if you had, and it's a supposition, and Wade, I'm throwing this out there, man. I know you appreciate this. I do this mental gymnastics thing, but it's helped me get back at this and maybe that's I revisit this whole damn thing. I reset. I have to hit the reset button recently. And now I'm talking out loud. I'm talking to you and I'm hearing the 4 points. And I just feel like I really need to share this with everybody. So just get this thing in your mind. And I started doing something. Yes, it was great. I had a great call with somebody. and I did something that I used to do successfully, and I forgot all about. And he said, it was an Irish guy, and somebody I met at the Home Depot in the back of his truck. It's an Irish guy. And he goes, okay, so what's the rates? He asked me what the rates were, and his Irish broke. I said, well, instead of getting into the woods, I just said, switch it around and ask the question. Well, let me ask you, what are you doing in roughly in deposits per month? What's your monthly revenue been about? Roughly. Let's just say monthly for the last 3 or 4 months. Now that question, he doesn't know. My question doesn't relate to his question. He's just like, he's going to answer it. Now I've got the benefit of knowing what he's going to qualify for. And I can also answer the question based on his probable approval, right? Amount. So he said 100,000, 150,000 some month. Okay. So let's the supposition. Let me get back to that word. It's a supposition. Supposing you had 150,000, you can say that, but it's better to say if you had $100,000 deposited in your business account. Now he's thinking, he's hearing you. You're painting a picture. He's actually literally going through this unconscious thing. You're saying, I'm depositing a whole month's worth of revenue in your bank account, and he sees his Citibank balance go from 30,000 to 130,000, like in his mind. So if you had 100,000 deposited in your bank, let's say, what's today, Wednesday, by Friday, I mean, would you know what to do with it, and how would it help your business, kind of thing? Like, would that help you? I mean, would you at least double that in value? If what would you do with it? It's important that you have to find out what they're going to do with the funds. What would you do with it? Well, I was thinking about buying a machine or some equipment. Okay, so if you had that thing or that benefit or that whatever they tell you, would that at least double in value to you over the next 10, 12 months? So because that's the term of the funding. And they're thinking this, of course, I have gotten the response. It's more than double most of the time. More than double. Ah, sure, more than double. Really? Okay. So now we don't have to worry about rates anymore, because now his benefit is double whatever he's going to get. What difference does it make if it's, as long as it's over 60%, right? Or something. He's got, or 50. He's got the benefit of the money. Now he's thinking, yeah, well, now I could actually have it. Yeah, 100,000. So we're going to come in far below what you just showed me in your benefits, but it's like getting $3. You got to pay back 4.5 or 4. It could be a little less or more. Would it be okay if I just send you the link? Let's see what, you'll probably get approved, and it'll happen the next 2 or 3 days. If it's going to help, let's get it done. So what you're kind of doing is flipping the switch, turning it around. They're not worried about rates. So you're saying, yeah, you're going to get an offer. Hopefully, if you're approved, as long as your credit score is not in the garbage, and they're running a business. How long have you been in business? 2 years. Great. Yeah, your credit's decent. If it's over 600, you're going to get a decent offer. It could be really good if it's over 700, but would you like to find out? Would you be opposed to? And I'm going to say this. This is something I've got to share this with NLPQ thing here, man. This is so good. I was listening to the healthcare fellow last night, and he was doing great. He was doing great. And when he came down to the not closing question, but the action question, he was missing it. So I hope he's hearing this. What you have to say is, because people are used to saying no. You used to say no. No, the resistance is up. You want to drop the resistance? Say, would you be opposed to getting a funding offer to see how it can help your business? Yes, I would be opposed to it. No one's going to say I would be opposed. They say no. They want to say no. They're conditioned to say no, so they're not opposed to it. No, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Okay, let's get it done. That is so psychologically important. Would you be opposed to seeing how this might, it's just like, would it be possible? I mean, would you be opposed to seeing what kind of funding offer you could get if, if you could put the funds to good use? No, oh yeah, let's do it. Okay, but this is just right to the point. Okay, I wouldn't be opposed to it because they see the benefit in having it. That's all. I just want to throw that out. I'm like, man, I'm resetting. This is such an important thing I wanted to share. And if everybody applies this, I promise you, you won't get that resistance. And they'll lower their guard. They'll start opening up to you as to what they want to do or they could do with the funds. All of a sudden, because Wade's saying this woman at the Thai restaurant out there, whatever it was, she's doing 90, 100 grand a month. She had no idea she could get access to this money. And when these people find out how smooth and easy it is, they're like, what? There's no awareness to many of these people that this could actually happen so easily and quickly. So it's almost like a responsibility to get through the minutia and the BS and just like let them see. Would you be opposed to seeing how this might help you? No, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Well, then let's find out. And that's it. I just want to throw it out. Boom. Okay. I'm ready to roll.
Thank you, man.
Sorry.
And guys, two points on what he said. Number one, the reason that Matthew and Nick and some others get most offers for most of their packages, and most of their packages accept the offer is because they go through all that information that he's talking about. They've already done their part to explain it. And then my second point is this: it's not my job, it's not my team's job to close anybody. We don't do that. But we do answer rebuttal questions these questions that they have that they don't quite know that they understand. They want to hear it from someone else. We're very trained to do that, and we wind up, quote unquote, closing it, but with very little pressure, because quite frankly, that's not our job. You're supposed to, on the front end, do what Matt's talking about now. However, all that being said, you can rest assured that when we're talking to them, we're going to give them the best chance possible to say yes. So, all right, who else do we have? Thank you, Matt.
All right, next up we have John Arthur Moore. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, John.
I just wanted to know if those 5 questions are in the resource center. If not, will they be?
They can be. I know that this training probably winds up going. I don't know exactly what they do, but I can certainly email to Morgan right after this and have those in there.
Okay.
Yeah. This training is recorded and will be stored on YouTube. But yeah, Wade, if you want to email that over, we can get a physical copy in the Agent Resource Center for you. Good question.
Thank you, John.
And then looks like last but not least, we have Abigail H. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you so much for the training. I have a scenario that I'm dealing with. I know you mentioned that it's possible for a client to get additional funds between 45 and 90 days. But I have a client who I think got from the end of October, and she was just wanted to find out if she had additional funding at this juncture.
Yeah, and she got funded in October, I think is what you said. Want to know if she can get funding this quickly. Well, 2 things. Number one, the first thing that we do is we go back to the original lender, and we ask them about an add-on funding. Usually they're going to give them the max they can get anyway. And depending on how long that term is, if that term's a year and they've only been in it 1 month, they're probably not going to get more money with that lender. We can always do a second position funding with them, or try to get, which is what I'm doing with a client here this morning, because the current lender, who is a C and D lender, doesn't want to do an add-on, but I got other lenders that will. But there are certain lenders that we have that we've got a written, well, not written, but we got a verbal rule together. We respect them. I respect all the lenders, but some of these are 2 and 3 and 4 position lenders, so they know they're going to get stacked. But some of them I'm just not going to do it. We're not going to be the ones to stack them because of our relationship. So it just depends, and it depends on the client, and it depends on what their revenue is. But I'll tell you this: Matthew mentioned about not overextending their credit, what they can afford. We know what they can afford, and when you get up around that 30 or 35% cost of paying back other lenders, nobody really wants to break that threshold. First positions don't want to break the 20%, 25%, but second and third position lenders, they really don't want to break that 30 to 35. Really, 35 is the number. If they're paying more than 35% of their total revenue to pay back these fundings, they're going to be in trouble pretty soon, because you can't keep borrowing to pay for the last borrowing that you got. And that's kind of where we are with those. But yeah, we always try. I tell everybody, hey, if you want renewals, send them in. It doesn't hurt to ask and see if we can get more funding. I think that's everybody, and I really appreciate your time again today. I try to give you something informative every Wednesday. Hopefully this was one of those days. Thank you for your time. God bless you. Have a good week.